Hi, I'm Lisa Marie Gonzalez. Welcome to part 2 of the ultimate Mary Sue character, How Not to Write a Story. In part 1, Nahid, Layla, Shirin, etc. Senna Marie Maxwell got away with everything and managed to transfix and turn all manner of other characters inside out. But as Ocean would not let the online bullies get away with harassing their fellow Mary Sue writer, Ocean does not let the Mary Sue version of the troll Senna get away with anything. Senna's evil spell breaks, and she gets what she has coming.
Part 2. Nahid, Senna Marie Maxwell. Pride goes before a fall. The weakest link. Nahid had plenty of ambitions in life, not only to dominate the whole world. She also fixated on finding ways to make Harry Potter leave his wife Ginny and their children for her. She had similar designs on Ron Weasley, who she hoped to seduce away from Hermione, whom Nahid typically despised in true Mary Sue fashion. She hated Hermione Granger Weasley for being a female with brains, and for being a good friend of Harry's, and now Ron's wife. Nahid also wished to make Professor Longbottom and Draco Malfoy fall in love with her, and Therese Kushrenada come alive and snog her practically into oblivion. Therese Kushrenada was a terrorist in the anime Gundam Wing. He got killed off, but he was one of the main hotties Senna and her victim fought over. Senna thought Therese should be paired up with another Gundam Wing character called Lady Un, a character Senna worshipped. Lady Un was hated by Senna's victim, who put her own created character with Therese in her mushy fanfiction instead. Mary Sues often have a need to take men away from their significant others. Lady Un and Therese were not an item in the anime, but even so, Senna's victim made her own Mary Sue character have Therese and other men fixate on her. So both she and Senna were guilty of tawdry Mary Sue-ness. But as Ocean says, Senna's victim did not deserve to get bullied, personally attacked, and hounded off the internet just for some bad writing. Senna has a pathological need for dominating other people and for being center of attention. Well, she gets to be center of attention here, and I hope she likes it. Continuing on. Nahid was experimenting with magic charms, one of which went terribly awry. She followed it exactly as the book said, or so she thought. But one flubbed syllable, a symbol that was badly traced, and it all started to go wrong for Nahid from here. The charm she had tried released a ghost from her confinement in one of the castle walls. This ghost had never liked Nahid and was immune to her bewitching power. But now that she was freed, she was in a position to start putting things into perspective, not just for Nahid, but for all those under Nahid's adoration spell. It started when Nahid played a very sloppy game of Quidditch that meant Slytherin lost the tournament. The team was counting on her, and she played like a newbie. Her eyes changed to a sullen gray as she cried, unable to understand what happened. It didn't help matters when the Gryffindors were celebrating and the Slytherins were needling her about losing the tournament for them. The truth about Nahid was that she was not perfect, not by a long shot. Her favorite pastimes were talking to herself, talking about herself to others, admiring herself in every mirrored place, calling the shots, bullying, swooning over anime and over herself, starting and continuing flame wars, and getting away with being an absolute power-crazed, spoiled brat. She also liked to stage events that made her seem heroic or make her the center of all attention. She could not stand being out of the limelight for a second. Even her email address was unbelievably egocentric. JenSavesTheDay@hotmail.com. Her nose was stuck up in the air, and her eyes were too close together. One day, another beauty came along who rivaled Nahid in looks, and heaven forbid, actually managed to turn the head of one of the guys Nahid had her evil eye on. Not Neville Longbottom. But this was enough sign to convince Nahid that this girl would ruin her imagined relationship with Longbottom, who in actuality couldn't have cared any less about her one way or the other. Nahid got it into her head that he loved her, but that was only because he showed no interest in romancing any girl, and the clingy, unbalanced Nahid took that as a pledge of true love. Nahid went ballistic. Her cerulean blue eyes turned to a garish yellow, red, black, and finally green with envy. She absolutely panicked and threw a tantrum that lasted months. Every chance she got, she sent the new girl nasty notes and called her down all over the internet and elsewhere. Nahid became a jealous, obsessive, utterly psycho stalker, and she even managed to do it without wrecking her hairdo. Of course, the day she broke a nail using the computer, she ended up crying huge crocodile tears. The stress of it was so bad it caused her to be bedridden for a week. All her attendants were beside themselves, falling all over Nahid, trying to make her more comfortable. During that time, Nahid's temper didn't improve. She could be heard day in and day out, yelling for this moron to get her precious Latin book, or that loser to straighten out her pillows for only the 40th time within the last half hour. Once she finally got tired of being sick, she decided to stand up. Oh no. Bedhead. Nahid was so furious, she kicked at a cabinet and broke a toenail.
Stupid thing! Oh, my stupid toe!
Wild with rage, she blamed her rival.
It's all that other girl's fault.
Throwing herself down on the floor.
I hate her. She's stupid. She's an egomaniac.
Spittle flying from her mouth.
I hate her.
Snot coming out of her nose.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. I hate her.
And huge self-pitying tears rolling out of her lurid red-orange eyes that shot pink angry sparks, she opened her mouth and howled like a raving lunatic. Along with the insults, she spewed out a lot of gibberish that could have been curses or attempted spellcasting, worship of Lady Un, or simply her inability to stop talking though she had nothing to say.
I hate her. I hate her. Neville is all mine. Mine. Huddle time to Fidax guy. I hate that girl. She's a Mary Sue. How dare she look at Mr. Neville, write anything about him and steal him away from me?
Of course, it never dawned on Nahid Layla Shirin. Lala Zara Parvin, Fata Isha Horatia, Felicia Malisha Marluquisha, Katisha Kaishusha Kiseki, Kiki Kitana Melina Tina, Aya Aurelia Ophelia, Olivia, Angelica Demonica Sanaika Mika, Miaka Miranda Fiona Fiore, Raga Bashtul, Rudy Yani Commodore Frost, Harper Rainbow Simla Petite, Red Wolf Candy Pants Rose, Great Tattoo, Mad Pirate Moss Green, Satin Eponine, Death Baker, Dragon Reader, Drunken Woodpile, Queen of Goths, Blue Star, Silver Child, Silver Star, Blue Child, Silver Sloth, Ice Bear, Zella John Tora Chan, Tamara Toxic Seal, Camo Commando Carmen Rebecca. Jenny Co. Senna Marie Maxwell Pahlavi. That she was the biggest egomaniac as well as a Mary Sue herself. She had all the typical things she claimed to hate about Mary Sue's, albeit by the use of deceptive dark magic. Good looks, the ability to turn everyone on, and the desire to do so even if they started out hating her for wrecking their relationships. The ability to speak several languages. Well, actually, if the truth be told, she couldn't. She simply copied speeches out of books or looked up words in dictionaries of different languages. She could turn on the tears at the drop of a hat and make her sappy subjects feel very sorry for her. Furthermore, to top it all off and prove she was a Mary Sue beyond a shadow of a doubt, was that she had it bad for Professor Longbottom, the herbology instructor at Hogwarts. Nahid continued her childish tirade.
She's not pretty. She has ugly eyes. No irises, just pupils. Go have to fly hair out. If you would piss, get a dust. I'll get a drink. I'll sort of go in life's get long. They post get. Oh, you can't. It's my early so I get you for like. Right, Sam? Dory for the day after that for job. She got a big nose. Okay, so where you figure? What's up, Kickle? Jack, go off your beautiful glam. She got fat lips.
Nahid Senna should try coming up to me. I'd give her a fat lip that she'd remember for a while. Senna Marie lives up to her name. She has all the charm of a laxative.
She sucks and should die. Desu. I hate her. I hate her. Desu. She's a wench pants. Wench pants.
Wow, what a bratty idiot.
Definitely a factory reject. Factory reject. I like that. I'll have to keep that in mind to call the next odious creature that assaults my senses in some way.
Yeah, Iris can have a pretty sharp tongue, but she only uses it on people who deserve it. Senna repeatedly posted wench pants on the guest book of her victim's website. Only she said bitch, not wench. I cleaned up the language to put it up on my site. But the one coming up is among the worst and something that really made me want to pulverize Senna.
I'll use her hair for toilet paper. Oh! What the actual heck? Sicko!
Oh, absolutely appalling. Let me end her, please.
That is a surprisingly good idea, Mirta. You could be a good fit for the unnamed ghost mentioned above. I could give you that role on condition that you put back all you harmed. Take them out of their various dimensions and times and restore them to their loved ones. Undo every malicious thing you did, and I will gladly allow you to end Senna Marie Maxwell.
I wish I knew how.
I'd like to give Senna something to howl about, too. What an inhuman piece of work.
No kidding. Senna actually said in her victim's guest book that she wanted to use that person's character's hair, and probably her victim's as well, as toilet paper. I find that utterly reprehensible. So, continue with the story, please.
She should die! Die, you stupid wench! Die, 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 die! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Die! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!
As she spewed, she continued to wreck her hairdo as well as the room. When one of her attendants came in concerned, Nahid threw herself past her and raved out into the main part of the castle. She had the misfortune to trip on a just-waxed floor and fall flat on her face with her ugly cone-shaped derriere protruding in the air. Her dress split up the back, and she howled over that.
Ha 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 ha. A fate worse than death is having Ocean put you in a work of fiction when she's mad at you.
Senna's not having a good time, but I am. This is highly entertaining. Okay, continuing on. Too angry at falling and at her imagined rival and everything else that had gone wrong, Nahid got up again and ran through and out of the castle. She continued screaming about the woman who posed such an imagined threat the whole time, so completely obsessed was she over that girl.
I'll kill her. A helsing. Like ook welke helske glensek nelle heesnektig like subtle helskle helkek memboshka.
By now, Nahid was a sight. Her crown had been thrown off back in the castle, and now her hair had been dirtied and was sticking out in every direction. Her dress had all but come off. Her jewelry had either come off or was hanging in strange positions. Her face was stained with tears, and her huge fat lips hung to the ground in a terrible pout. Yes, indeed. She now had ugly eyes and fat lips from all the falling and crying. And where were her subjects? They all retreated, as far away from her as they could get. They always knew she was a crazy, but now, with her evil spell finally broken by her own ignorant, jealous, and bigoted hand, they could do for themselves now. Nahid Senna kept running and screaming like a ticked-off toddler until she winded herself against a tree. Once she got her breath back, she slapped and ranted at it for having the nerve to stand in her way.
Stupid tree! Stupid tree! Stupid, stupid, stupid tree!
Not far off, some people heard her, and they came to investigate. And once they realized who she was and how humbled she was being made and not liking it at all, they laughed long and hard.
I'd like to thank whatever spirits are behind this,
said one young man to his companion, a girl who looked far prettier than Nahid. Nahid saw her and raged some more. Shooting evil green daggers from her orbs, furious that all her ranting and cussing the girl out had not actually killed her, Nahid began.
You're ugly! Your nose is too large! Your skin is too pale!
And I'm supposed to what? Get all upset and cry over that, little Nahid?
The girl sneered.
Please, Nahid Shirin or Rainbow Sun or whatever you call yourself now. There's the world of Nahid, and then there's the truth.
Shut up, you stupid ugly skank!
Nahid fumed. The man continued.
And the truth is, you had your fun being a Mary Sue, and now you're getting mad at somebody else for topping you in all the important ways. You're jealous because you're not everybody's little darling anymore, and you don't have half the personality of any other girl I know.
Who does that girl think she is talking back to me? And I'm not a Mary Sue, I'm not a Mary Sue. Not!
The truth hurts, doesn't it? Unlike you, this woman has a heck of a lot more going for her than just looks, and it's making you eat your insides out. Now it's time you wake up and smell the coffee. You are the ugliest creation that ever was except for maybe Hitler, Hussein, Bin Laden, and Voldemort, who had the unlikely real name of Tom Riddle. You may have looked nice on the outside for a while, but your soul is full of crap. Nobody likes you. No one ever really did. You are the worst case of Mary Sueism that ever came about.
No, how could you? No!
Nahid Senna Marie cried, foaming at the mouth and tossing herself around like a child in a temper.
Neville wouldn't want you treating me this way,
she said in a weak attempt to defend herself and intimidate the couple she was currently railing at. The man scoffed.
He couldn't care less who writes him in their silly little Mary Sue stories, or which airhead fangirl wants him all to herself. You need to cool that obsession of yours.
You aren't supposed to be looking at her. You're mine, Sama!
Nahid demanded.
Don't call me that, Nahid,
the man snarled back.
You've been hated secretly by me and a lot of others for a very long time.
But Nahid continued to rail.
That girl has some nerve. Who does she think she is?
I could ask the same of you, Nahid,
the girl retorted. Nahid's rage was at its peak now. Her eyes turned blood red, then to a stormy, murderous raven, black, as they shot bombs at her perceived rival. Nahid flung herself on the unfortunate woman, spewing drool as she did so.
Ew, gross! As I said before, factory reject.
You dare to think you're so great?
Whatever gave you that idea?
The girl asked, pushing Nahid away, then attempting to dry her sleeve.
Yuck, what a pig.
Just for that, and for thinking you're so perfect, you should be thrashed, with your mind keel-hauled and violently wrestled into submission to me by a bunch of bloodthirsty squirrels.
That is another stupid message Senna left somewhere on the net. Of course, being the sadistic, power-tripping freak she is, she would be into keel-hauling. Ugh. Back to the story.
Oh, get a life.
The girl guffawed before turning her back on Nahid in utter disdain. Nahid traced some magic symbols in the air, chanting a curse on the hated girl. Nothing happened. No lightning bolt, no girl bursting into flame or crumbling to dust before Nahid. Nothing.
You stupid skank! Die already!
Nahid bellowed, pointing a finger at the girl's back.
Good grief, you're hopeless.
The man said, glaring at Nahid.
I don't know what the ruddy horcruxes I ever saw in you. I must have been belozered.
All the commotion had attracted a crowd of onlookers, who could be heard cheering on Nahid's enemies and booing Nahid. This made her even angrier.
Get back to your work, you stupid slaves!
Nahid barked, pointing angry spikes of now multicolored hair at them. She noticed one of the people out front, who seemed to be leading a small Muggle family group. This made Nahid's head nearly explode.
You stupid people, what are you doing out in public? Get back to where you belong and finish that monument you're supposed to be making of your goddess, me!
That set the crowd in an uproar. They soon started pelting Nahid with stones and shouting.
Down with Senna! Down with Senna!
Nahid turned and fled, only to run right into more trouble.
You're not going anywhere. Not just yet.
A strange woman was now holding Nahid back.
You!
But Nahid didn't get a chance to scream out another insult. She took a hard smack to the side of her face. It was Mierta, the ghostly woman Nahid had accidentally freed with that long-bottom love spell. And she was no moaning Myrtle.
That's enough out of you, little tyrant. You should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. You hate people you think don't measure up to your ridiculous ideals of appearance. You are jealous and obsessive to the point of psychotic. You are a hypocritical, spoiled, egotistical little brat, a slaver, indecent, and a terrible control freak, and you have outstayed your welcome in this piece of fiction. Now get lost.
Myrta turned her cold gaze on that poor excuse of a girl.
Nahid, Layla, Shirin, Leyle, oh whatever. Senna Marie Maxwell Pahlavi, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Myrta made the thumbs down motion. Nahid Senna Marie Maxwell Pahlavi, the Anakin Vader, Sidious Palpatine, and Bin Laden wannabe terrorist/bully-minded freak, now found herself being dragged, kicking, and screaming, crashing and burning into the Mary Sue Hall of Shame.
No!
There she would stay, as an example for all netizens to laugh at and try not to follow. She excels in the subject of HUB 101, Head Up Butt, a class in the Mary Sue Hall of Shame that tends to get the highest course averages.